My name is Hampus Lindwall and I'm from Sweden, Stockholm, but I live now in Brussels and Paris a little bit still. I've been living in Paris for a long time, but now we moved to Brussels. And I'm a musician and I'm also collecting art. I never really had a plan with the collection because I started to collect and actually when I started to collect it was also I just bought a piece because I really liked it, and I bought another piece. And then people said, "Yeah, you're a collector," and blah blah. I said, "No, I'm not an art collector." "Yeah, but you buy this and this." And it even took some time for me to understand that I was collecting, that I was building a collection. So I never had more of a plan than just continuing buying the things that I consider important for me or for stuff that was or important for our time. Works that I really like. Yeah, the profile, you could say that it's, I would say, like a cutout from my generation and mostly artists that are also around me somehow. I know most of the artists and contemporary mediums also like film, code or internet, like websites and programmed based things. I met some of those artists through friends, and they talked about, they explained what they were doing, and I thought that, this is so now. I mean, it's really, so I never had a problem with the format actually. I know that some people also, I mean, there's not so many collectors of net art, of course, or because it's not tangible. It's not. But I didn't really grow up with computers, but we had a computer when I was a kid, and also, I kind of accepted the whole process with computers early to pay with your card and things when you buy books on Amazon or something. So I never had a problem with it. So I think it's totally proper to our society or time to have web-based work today. I own like domains that are artworks. So for instance, the one I talked about earlier, falling.com. I buy the domain with the artwork on it, and then I get a certificate. So I also have the files, like a copy of the files in case something would happen to the web hosting and so on. And then we transferred all the files also to my web hosting company, where you can host like for your own website and stuff like this. So I also host those pages. So you buy the website, then you pay what it is, like $50 a year or something to upkeep it for the name and for the web hosting. That's how it works. Yeah, many of those artists are working with galleries now, but also through some of those artists who are really into it also tell me that you should check out this one or this guy or something. There are several places where you can look a lot on a lot different works on internet, like collections, and I think also Rhizome is doing a great job with preservation and presentation of internet art and digital art in general. So I think that could be a good resource to just browse around and see what you like, and then like you do with anything, actually with any art, you start to look around, and then when you start to find something you like, you contact the gallery of that artist or the artist if they don't have a gallery. Most of the artists I met through other artists, and also people that said you should really check out this young artist, for instance, or something that you know, in every field you know the other persons more, so many artists that I'm friends with, they knew also younger kids that were coming or doing interesting things, so I could be early on to buy things from and support those artists. Sometimes if it's a work that was already sold, you have to try to find something from some on secondary market sometimes, or but there's always things you dream about. But I'm happy that I'm collecting from new works, so to say, because if you collect old masters, it will be an eternal quest, I think, after some things that you know that you maybe can get or so. But now I can still wait for new works to be produced, that and also some things that I don't know about yet, that doesn't exist yet, that I will collect, which is also more which is really exciting, I think. Actually, it's nice if you can follow an artist and have several works. For me, I think, because I like to have because the works are also enriching each other, and also they dialogue with each other, I think, often. So, and you can see traces of something in an earlier work that comes later, and it's I like, if I can, to have different works from artists, and also like to have artists working with different mediums. I think it's really nice to have like a movie and a website and a physical work and difficult things from the same person. Well, I think the difference is when it entertainment, it's you have a good time and then, but it doesn't change your life, whereas art can really change your life. So sometimes you see something as an entertainment, but it could be considered as art as well. It's in the eye of the beholder, in that sense that also some art is just decoration or design. Also, if you're not looking into it, I mean, many people go into the Louvre and they look at Mona Lisa. They see this picture a painting of a woman, but it's if you analyze this painting, it's an amazing work with a huge amount of information and in this painting. So it's really, if you are perceptive of or not, or also based on your previous knowledge, and if you know how to decode something, that it becomes either art or decoration, I think. Yeah, first of all, there's not so many artists doing online works, and then there is a few collectors also who bought, but not so many, I think. But I mean, globally there is still, I mean, enough to support a little market for it. And then there is many artists who made like 1 or 2 or 3 web-based work, but they are not web artists. So there's a lot of I think there's a lot of online work by really good artists also to look into, like Jody, or my top favorite artists, among my top favorite artists. They are doing internet work since '95, and they have very few collectors, and their work is so good, and it's just a question of time until the people will start to appreciate it. But I think they were always so far ahead of their the public was never ready for the work, and just make new work that is each time you need like 10 or 15 years before people can start to appreciate it. And so this, I mean, there's no, this is for them there's no market yet, and especially for their level. so interesting. I think the cheapest I bought a website was €1,000, and the most I don't know actually, but I would guess. I've heard of websites that were priced up till 30,000, but I don't know if they were sold. But yeah, I mean, there is no 15 million websites. I mean, you can do one, but I'm not sure you would sell it. It's not because you live now that you are contemporary. I think that contemporary has to deal with something from our time. So the medium that is contemporary, or a questioning that is contemporary, or a idea that is contemporary somehow, that is tied to our time, our problems, our lives today. So it's I cannot. It's not more contemporary because it is a website. It's important to analyze the core of the work, because also a painting can be much more contemporary than a movie. A painting from 2017 and a movie from 2017. It's not because it's made you get it on a digital file that it's more contemporary. It has to be part of the everyday, or not everyday, but the contemporary life and scene. I think that there's many mediums that will survive. I mean, now the fair didn't start here yet, but it will be. Painting is still the strongest medium when you go to, and it's so much represented by painting. And I think painting will always survive. There will be, of course, film, which is one of the most important mediums since the biggest inventions. I mean, since a long time. Internet will have a huge impact on art in different ways. I think that there's a lot of new things also, like virtual reality works that a few artists are starting working with. I haven't bought anything yet, but I'm sure that this will be, in a few years, something really important and probably part of the film medium. Different types of I mean, now it's these little bit clumsy glasses that you put on and things, but these things also change. No, I don't invest also in art. I mean, I buy art because I love it, but I don't. Many of the things, like also when I bought the first, I think now a little bit of people are interested, but websites that I bought, I think the resale value when I bought them would be zero, and it doesn't matter so much. You own it because you love it, and then it's just enjoyment. Like you pay €15 for a bottle of wine, and the day after it's gone, it's the same. The money is also gone, but you enjoyed it, and I think some of those are, even if they don't have a resale value, it doesn't matter. Then I have a lot of other works that has higher resale value, but I think also the internet website will at some point be regarded as important works to buy. But I don't dwell over it. It's not why I buy something. That's an interesting question, because if somebody would like to buy one of the websites that I own, I mean, if you would like to, you can watch it as much as I watch it. I cannot watch it more because I own it. It's only that I own it, actually, and it's. I think you have to buy a website actually to know how it feels to own one that you have bought, because. I tried to explain this many times to some collectors that didn't have websites, and once they bought, they also felt like they owned it in a different way. It's even though it can seem a little bit abstract, it's you really have the feeling of property. For instance, there was one website that I would really like to own, but it's already sold, And there you can speak about like value, and that if I could buy it from this collector who already buy it, if I could pay more than he paid or so, I don't know. That's I never had a dialogue about it with him. But I don't know if any website was already sold to a second collector. I don't know that actually. It would be interesting to know. If somebody knows about it, I would really like to know it. But yeah, it didn't change so much because I also have a lot. I know I have many friends who run galleries, so I also know how it is to run a gallery. From I don't know exactly, but I mean from the outsider, how you perceive it. So I know what I was getting into. Yeah, if I know an artist that is starting out and I think is doing interesting works, I can talk about it to friends who are running galleries and show them their work and so, and maybe try to influence them and say it would be interesting to do a show or show in a group show or just tell them to look into this work, and sometimes it has been it worked also to do this. Never have, but I have once again many artists that I listen to their advice that are has always been the best, and then I have a few galleries that and people who runs galleries, also Isabella, my wife, she and other friends who runs galleries that are really have a passion. So they also recommend things that people that they are not particularly working with, but they say you should really buy this artist or something. That is not for me. So I have, you can call that, but it's more like friends. It's not advisors. I can say that for me, it's been just an enrichment of my life to live with works that I really like and love, and that has also inspired and changed my way of doing music, for instance, and how so it's just an enrichment actually. It's and you live with it, and you have it, you see it every day, things that you love. It's really, it's like a love story.